Shelley and her team just to feedback. And why I asked Shelley to feedback? Because Shelley, she had a fantastic month. Her sponsor, Melissa, introduced me to Shelley when she first got going in the business. And I know Shelley has had 1,000,001 reasons to quit. She's had major disappointments from people really close to her. She has, like all of us, this is not unique. But what has inspired me is how she's been able to just shake it off, get back up, stronger, more committed, more experienced, more skilled, and to continue. And along the way, she's picked up some incredible people in her business. And so, Shelley, I'm going to hand it over to you, and you just take care of this session and the reading session with you and your team. Thank you.
Okay, hi guys. Well, I do have an amazing team that I'm a part of, and from my uplines to my downlines. So being in this business has been quite a journey, and yeah, I've loved mainly all of it, but like Drew says, there have been quite a few challenges. And I find that motivating myself was quite challenging in the beginning. I find that quite hard to do, but I found that from Melissa has been an amazing upline where she is always motivated, and she's always there to motivate me, which I can hopefully pass on to my team. And I just find that a little bit of activity, and I found the Slight Edge a game changer for me. It was life-changing, because I just found that doing a little bit of something every day has made a huge difference. And it gets you through those tough times. So, you get a lot of no's in this business, and they can be very discouraging and very disheartening. And many times you just want to say, well, it's easier just not to do it. And it is so easy not to do the things that can make you successful. So they are very easy to do, but they're easier not to do. So I just find that doing a little bit every day and being consistent is key. So activity equals results. And with regards to my team, I have really some amazing people in my team. I'm going to start with Jill, who, so Drew has gone through all of these really, but I'm just going to also highlight them. Jill has now qualified 2 months in a row as Emerald Director. And, this month, after March being such a phenomenal month for all of us, Jill really didn't think she would reach her 4,000 points this month. And it was halfway through the month, and I think we were all feeling a little bit flat because last month was we're on such a high. And also the challenges we've had with homeschooling and this whole lockdown, and not being able to go about our things as usual. We're all learning how to reach out to people in a whole new way. And she, halfway through the month didn't think she'd make it, and she actually far exceeded her 4,000 points from just putting her head down and being positive and actually just carrying on. And she did really, really well. She has some great people under her as well. Claire is also it does her little bit every day, and the results show. And same as Lisa. Lisa has also been phenomenal. And you can actually see in the tracker forms that the activity equals the results, I must say. We've also got Chris, who stepped up to manager. And Chris, there are two people that I find that I really take my hat off to, because they've started in a time where we haven't been able to have one-on-ones with them, or personally anyway. And they've just taken this business and gone with it in these challenging times. And they're starting to really see the results as well. Then there's Bridget, who she gets very frustrated because she wants to fly to President's team before she can walk, but she has also been amazing. And same thing, didn't think she would reach her target and that she had set for herself, and she did. I mean, on the last day, somebody out of the blue phoned her, and she made her target and more. So she's also just flying. And again, it's just carrying on with all that stuff and keeping yourself motivated and never give up hope. That's what I can say. And then Andre as well. So I've got a great team who also, all of them I can say were worried about reaching their goals. And I think a great thing which Bridget has actually taught me, she's given her downlines goals to reach, and I think, and they end up reaching them, which I think is a great motivator. So Claire, who also started this business 2 months ago and not knowing anything, and has reached the goals that Bridget gave her. So yeah, I just find that the challenges, that yes, they can get you down. Like I say, you lose people, but if you just keep on going, you will get those people, and you'll end up getting a lot of yeses. And another thing I found was I'd been sending a lot of messages to people, but what made such a big difference is when I actually picked up the phone and phoned people and had that personal call with them. It made a big difference to getting more people to order and more people interested in the business. So yeah, that's it from my team. And Joel is going to give us the reading on chapter 1 tonight. So Joel, you take it away.
Evening, everybody. Can you hear me? Cool. Right, I'm Joel Legg, and I am from Port Alfred in the Eastern Cape. I started with Neolife in March of 2019, so just over a year that I've been with Neolife. And when I first started, Shelley encouraged me to start reading The Slight Edge. And I must say that, to be honest, it took me a couple of months to settle down and actually get going with it. But I couldn't help but highlight certain statements that really struck a chord with me from the get-go when reading that book. And it's funny now that I'm reading it a second time, there are different things that are standing out. And I think it's just the progression of the journey that I'm in with Neolife and where I'm at the moment, that different things are more relevant. So the first thing, I mean, he does touch a lot in this chapter of different statements that he does make, that he goes in more in depth in the later chapters. I'm just going to touch on a few things that are relevant to me at this stage. Okay, so the first thing is how to do the how-tos. And as you know, there are a lot of how-tos out there. How to fit, how to lose weight, how to make money. I mean, there's so many books and CDs, videos, etc., etc. And to put it into a Neolife perspective, Drew in the last couple of weeks, months, has given us amazing how-tos to promote our business, how to share the Neolife products, how to share the Neolife opportunity. And I think the important thing is what we do with how-tos, and how we use the how-tos is going to determine if we're going to be successful with it or not. That leads to the main topic of this chapter, which he talks about his secret ingredient, which is our philosophy. So our outlook on life, or the way we think. And he defines it as a philosophy drives your attitudes and your feelings, which then drive your actions. And another one is a set of ideas or standards about how you do something. And there's quite a good illustration on page 28, where you look at your philosophy, whether it's positive philosophy or a negative philosophy. Both are very easy to do. You either have positive thoughts or you have negative thoughts, but they create your attitudes, which then create your actions, your results, and ultimately create your lifestyle. So positive philosophy, you're going to have a positive lifestyle. Negative philosophy, a negative lifestyle. And actually, Mr. McDermott last night said a very similar thing, where the mind goes, reality follows. So I think that's something that we need to remind ourselves. The third thing that I wanted to touch on is, he said, don't be scared of failures or disappointments. And we've been speaking about that already with Shelley. And I was quite happy to read that, because I've had a lot of disappointments too, and I think everybody does on this journey. And my problem is I take them very personally. So this year I have become a lot stronger in dealing with disappointments, and just to realize that disappointments or failures are actually an opportunity to learn to do better the next time. Also, by failing, it means that you're trying. If you're not failing, you're not trying. So don't let that get you down. And then just finally, the purpose of the slight edge is just, he says, is to learn how to understand patience. The choices one makes on a daily basis matter. Have faith in the process of simple, positive actions repeated over time, and have faith that miracles do happen. Thank you.
Okay, Drew, must I talk? Or are you going to talk? So, Bridget, sorry.
You go. You go.
Going to the second chapter. So, Bridge, your turn.
Okay, thank you. So if I was nervous before, having to follow that, even more nervous now. So chapter 2 for me so far, firstly, I'm absolutely loving this book. And even from chapter 1, that Thomas Edison thing about I haven't failed, but I've worked out thousands of things that don't work. I just absolutely love that, because I bump my head a lot before I get something right, which is something that really bugs my husband. Anyway, moving on to chapter 2. So the key points I took from chapter 2, just as a very quick summary, were that for you to be able to have the slight edge, you've got to do the easy things. So do the things that are easy to do and do them every day to reach a compound effect. Okay, so very high level what it was. And then he goes in to speak about the fact that there are 2 types of people. So you've got those kinds of people that everything they touch turns to gold, and we all admire them, and we all want to be their friend, and we all want to be them, actually. So they're maybe the Joneses, really, and they're just hugely successful. And then the second type is the type of person that lives a life of mediocrity, or maybe worse, even failure. And what really hit home was the fact that only 5% of people seem to fall into category 1. So I don't know about you guys. I'm sure you're all going to say yes, but that's certainly where I want to be. I don't want to live a life of mediocrity, and I want to make the biggest successes of the things that I do. So why is it that only 5% of people are fitting into that category of being successful? What is the difference between person 1 and person 2? Now, we can all throw loads of theories around. We can say right place, right time. We can say that they happened to be prepared when the opportunity came around. Or, you know, we can say lots of different things. But what Jeff Olson says is he believes it's because they have got something called the slight edge. Okay, so the slight edge is people that know, the successful people are the people that know and understand the concept of the slight edge, and that they use it to their advantage. Okay, so you can know and understand the slight edge, but if you're not using it to your advantage, then it'll play to your disadvantage, because you've got to do the positive things. It's about knowing what's going to bring a positive outcome and doing that, not ignoring that, or not doing the opposite of that, and doing it every day to build the compound interest of positive steps that ultimately lead to a successful outcome. So when I was reading this, it really kind of hit home, because to me it meant that I've got to do lots of small daily steps. It means that when I put my mind to something, I can't reach it immediately. And it means that, you know, I don't know if this chapter, I took from this chapter this point particularly because it's something I struggle with. But just this morning, I was chatting to Shelley actually, and we were talking about the fact that I put a video out on Facebook and I turned it into a competition, and I wasn't getting a lot of entries into competition. And she messaged me back and she goes, "Oh, Miss Instant." And I was like, "Well, what does that mean? What does Miss Instant mean?" And she said, "It's the fact that you can't stand delayed gratification. It's the fact that you've just joined the business and you want to be a director now, and that you've put your thing on Facebook and you want it to be successful now. You're not willing to wait an hour or two." And this was before I read the chapter. So when I was reading the chapter, I thought to myself, because my response actually to Shelley before I read the chapter was, "Well, Shells, patience is a virtue that I just don't have time for." So I think I struggle with that daily invisible result. And I think a lot of us do. And I think that that's why a lot of people start things and don't end up finishing it. Which brought me to an example or a story I remember from my childhood that I've heard my mom tell a few times. So I don't know if I ultimately remember exactly every moment or if it's just the fact that I've heard the retelling of it a few times. But when I was little, I dreamt of becoming a prima ballerina. And I just wanted to be the most beautiful little girl prancing around on a stage. And I begged and begged and begged to start ballet. And my mum wasn't allowed to come in and watch the lesson. So she let go of my hand, and I went in and did my 30, 40-minute, whatever it was, ballet lesson. And she waited for me in the car, and she was expecting this ball of energy to come bursting out of the hall, so excited and just energized to be a ballerina. And what she got was a grumpy, sulky little quitting little girl. And she said to me, why do you want to quit? And I said, well, they made me pull in my tummy, tuck in my bum, stand up straight, point my toes. I didn't jump off the floor once, and I just had to bend my knees. That wasn't prancing, pirouetting across the stage. It wasn't what I was expecting. And of course, being a mom, she forced me to continue going to ballet lessons, but ultimately it took too long for me. And I gave up ballet. And I've often wondered if I'd carried on, because I was really good. I used to get golds. I used to do really well. And I wonder if I just wasn't too impatient. And sometimes I think we're too impatient to reach success. So that's a big thing of what I took from this chapter. It's important that you take the small daily steps, as small as they are, as insignificant as they seem. Keep doing them in the right direction. Be patient and allow those daily steps to do their work. Allow them to reach compound interest. Trust the process. And remember that success, what he says, is a process. It's not a destination. And it requires consistency. It requires lots of hard work. And all those things, lots of little steps, all add up together to become a big leap. So for us, that's phone every day. Go on the training calls. Contact that person you haven't spoken to in 6 months and do one of those people every week so that you're rebuilding relationships that can potentially become something. Go onto the American calls where they teach us, go to the GoPro talks and all those things that go on until midnight. Put the effort in. And then when you reach that goal, you can look back and you can actually probably recognize all those tiny little steps and you can see how they all added up together. So my favorite quote from the reading is that the things you do every single day, the things that don't look dramatic, that don't even look like they matter, they do matter. They not only make a difference, they make all the difference. The guys do the pliés, point the toes, bend the knees, tuck in the tummies, tuck in the bumps, And one day you will be the lead dancer in your business. That's me.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. That was amazing, Team Shelley. That was awesome. And Bridget, I just want to say, Jill and Bridget and Shelley, that was incredible. Thank you very much, all three of you. And when I spoke to Shelley early in the month, and she said, "Oh, Bridget's running for 2,000 points. It's going to be a stretch, but she's running for 2,000 points." And I see that you did that. And in I think it's your third month in the business. That is an important step with high activity. And it's amazing to see, when I met you in Port Elizabeth a little while back for the first time, how much you've grown, whether you see it or not, but because you're doing these little steps, you change. And it's quite incredible. And as you change, your business changes too. Before I go on, I missed somebody's tracker score. Pam, apologies, but Pam got 99 points on her tracker. Another incredible week, Pam, well done. I can't see on my screen, but that is a good score. Apologies, I missed you off earlier. Congratulations. So just to close off, guys, it's a new month. Like today is the official start to Neil's new month. And my question I have for you, the first one is, what target have you set yourself? Don't start a month without a clear target in your mind of where you're going. And I just thought Rory spoke about it beautifully last night. Where the mind goes, reality follows. And if you don't have a target, you'll bumble around and get what you get. What are you running towards? And then my next question is, what are you going to do to achieve that target? What price are you willing to pay? And there is a price to pay for success. There most definitely is. Edison mentioned in his book, and it was mentioned earlier, you will fail. That's one of the prices to pay. And if you aren't failing in this business, if you aren't making mistakes, if you aren't getting rejected, if you aren't getting disappointed, guess what? That is when you really need to start worrying, because it means you're not doing anything. Failure is part of the price that you pay. That rejection, that hurt, is part of the price that you pay. And it's the ability to get up and continue despite. What price are you willing to pay? What target have you set yourself? Make sure you communicate that to your upline leader and work towards it, run towards it. And when you get to mid-month and you are feeling a little bit despondent, as we all have, we call it the mid-month blues. There's actually a name for it. Often we get that feeling. What gets us through that feeling is when we have the target and that light that we're running towards. And so this is a great time to set your target and know what you're going to do. So guys, thank you very much for your time once again this evening. The reading for the next week is going to be chapters 3, 4, 5, and 6. So make sure you're doing that reading every day, because it is quite a stretch. We want to get through this book, chapters 3, 4, 5, and 6 of The Slight Edge. Please reach out to me if you don't have a copy, and I can try and help you get a copy or show you where to get it from. But God bless you all. Have a wonderful Thursday and Friday and weekend.